Hey Rebels, my name is Matthew Barton, and I'm the host of the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. Iron Bridge Brewery just opened their doors in Lumsden, Saskatchewan, which makes them the newest craft brewery to open in our province. Today, I'm sitting down with Denby Haysom, the president and master brewer, and he's going to tell me all about the Iron Bridge Brewery experience and what it's like to be the new kid on the block in Saskatchewan's craft beer scene. So let's get into it. Denby, welcome to the show.
No, thank you very much, Matt.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good today. What about you?
Deadly. I'm getting to talk to you, the new guy who's bringing me some beers today to talk about all the new stuff.
Yeah, you can't be disappointed with that. That's for sure.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you get into craft beer?
I would honestly say about 2 years ago, really following Rebellion, some of the local breweries that really started the whole market share, and even the past decade, really. I've really grown a loving for different kinds of tasting beer versus having just regular old same tasting beer, and that's when we really started to take a look into the brewery idea.
Who's we? Is it friends, family, business partners?
So the business itself, my dad and I decided to look into this venture, like I said, 2 years ago. We really looked into different kind of pieces of equipment, and we went with the Brew Hop BIAC equipment because it's very efficient in small square footages. We wanted to look at something that was really affordable, that we were able to brew high quality beer. So when we took a look at that equipment, as well as our business plan in Lumsden and just the whole vibe of Lumsden, how it's a tourist tourist town, we decided to kind of expand on that idea.
What is the story of Iron Bridge Brewing?
So Iron Bridge, the name, why we went with it is we wanted to tie it to something local. If you've ever been to Lumsden, when you first drive into James Street, right across from the Esso there actually, there's an old iron bridge that connects the main route into the Ball Diamonds. That iron bridge actually used to be on the main street of Lumsden and used to be the main connector between Regina and Saskatoon. So there was thousands and thousands of vehicles, main access point, basically connecting the southern part of Saskatchewan to the northern, and we wanted to tie it to something local or something you can come into town and see it every day.
Is the brewery near the bridge itself?
We aren't near the bridge. We are looking to eventually expand somewhere near there, but we are just in the heart of Lumsden, right across from the rink on 65 3rd Ave.
But it's basically like 5 minutes to get anywhere in Lumsden, right? So
it's 2-minute bike ride. You're from the south to north. Yeah, a really small town. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not too far to go hiking or hit ice cream shops, check out all the little antique things. The Last Mountain's probably neighbors with you, right?
Last Mountain is actually right across from there. So it's kind of neat to see the two kind of figures side by side. But when you actually go right into Lumsden, we're right near numerous shops, 3 painted parasol, all those neat little Jerky Boys, all those neat little shops. And it's definitely all within a walking distance.
Do you think you guys might do a walking tour with all those little businesses?
Oh, we would absolutely love to do that next summer. Take a look at supporting Freebird, Last Mountain Distillery, doing some sort of punch card technique. We're not even too sure yet, but the businesses are as excited as we are on maybe opening up that and maybe even renting bikes out so you can do a little tour on Lumsden.
When it comes to you guys, there's lots of craft beer in this province. What are you guys that's offering that's different?
That's a really good question, Matt. A lot of people ask me that. What we kind of differentiate, and every brewery, like you said, has its own niche. And what we were going for is more of a smooth, refreshing kind of style of beer, not overly bitter. So we focus a lot on the dry hopping, and maybe more of the late additions in the boils, so that you don't really get that over bitterness taste. It's more of those patio beers where you can have multiple, and one won't necessarily fill you up, but that's what we're kind of shooting for.
Are you looking at English styles, West Coast, East Coast? What are you feeling?
We're honestly, we do a couple of lagers. We do a lot of wheat beers as well. Wheat beers are definitely probably our top, as well as our light IPA that I brought in today. The Pirate's Paradise is definitely a lighter IPA for sure. It's more smooth, and refreshing. We have a lot of different kinds. We're working on a red ale right now. We have a brown ale. We have a Mud Iron Stout. We have a Prairie Pale Ale, a Pale Ale. Yeah, multiple beers.
So lots of things to choose from.
Yeah, a ton.
Somebody's going to be able to find something to love.
And that's what I ultimately was going for as well. We're kind of focusing on those individuals who aren't quite ready to try the super hopped up IPAs that quite a few breweries offer. We are trying to focus on the blonde ales of the beers and really transition people into that phase or into that kind of taste in hops in general. So that's where we kind of placed ourselves.
Well, I know that you brought a couple beers here today. Let's crack one and have you kind of walk me through it.
Yeah, let's try off the bat to start. It's a really bad pour.
So this one's called Off the Bat?
So I like to call it Off the Bat. This is our wheat beer that has coriander and sweet orange peel. I've definitely lowered that quite a bit, but this was actually the first brew I did about a year and a half ago now. It's a really clear, nice, smooth, refreshing beer.
It has a golden straw color, big, nice head to it. Yeah, you can smell that coriander.
I definitely know that quite a few people are like, oh, coriander, but I definitely toned her down quite a bit for one of my brews. So it just gives it that little hint of that citrusy and coriander taste.
Very prominent with the, that orange peel's nice. It's there. Yeah, this is what I would expect with this kind of beer. Yeah,
yep.
Wheat.
Yep.
It's present.
And a lot of people say that it tastes like a little bit of Hoegaarden mixed with another style of wheat beer. This is kind of my rendition on it. Once again, just a nice, refreshing patio beer.
Yeah, I think this would work if you just want something light and easy going. Maybe a little crackery.
Mm-hmm.
I might expect a little more snap, but you were saying that you kind of pulled back on that. So you want it to be smoother.
And I will be venturing that into a little bit more. Maybe I'll do another rendition of Off the Bat too, and maybe really up the hops and the actual coriander and sweet orange peel. Maybe I'll experiment a little bit with it.
I know one of the things with this style of beer, it's tricky. If you're not careful, you can get maybe like a Band-Aids or a sticky, gluey kind of character. But it seems like you figured it out. It's really easy drinking.
Yeah, and if you ever come by the brewery and we do a tour, honestly, like this beer I've done at least 20 times before I even tried it on a big batch. I wanted to make sure it was perfect because I thought this would be our definite staple in our brewery. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it.
One of the things that Rebellion did very early on is we had a Belgian Wit. We just called it Belgian Wheat because we said no one knows what a wit is.
Yeah.
Except just beer geeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a delicious beer. But we found that early on, we just couldn't compete against the Shock Top, the Hoegaarden, the other Belgian Wit category. It was too crowded. And it just wouldn't work. IPA was going crazy. Amber's crazy. And so we said, well, we need to figure this out. We know we need a light beer. And the wheat's not working. So what can we do? And that's when Lentil kind of happened. Mm-hmm. And Lentil went crazy. I think the market now is ready to go back to a craft Belgian Wit and say, this is what I want. And now I'm looking for something different. I'm not looking for a corporate marketed beer if I want to support local. Mm-hmm. How can I do it? But maybe I'm not ready for those big hoppy beers. I think you found something.
And this is the perfect transition, like you said, into they want that Belgian wheat. They want that Belgian wit. And that's kind of what I was actually aiming for this one. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
We get asked a lot, when are you guys going to do another wheat beer? When are you going to do another one, a wit? And we're like, well, we tried that. We're on to something else.
Yeah.
But and it didn't work for us. But I think there's still a lot of demand and interest for it. We just aren't filling it. And you look at the other breweries, and their wheats are present, but not necessarily their main focus.
Yeah, definitely not the predominant. And I think from just our past couple of weeks, I'm just taking some really short stats here, but this one and the IPA, actually, most of them people have really enjoyed, but these two are probably the most predominant, so that's the ones I chose out today.
From my perspective, when it comes to craft beer geeks, IPA has not lost steam. It's
Mm-mm.
very, very popular.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
who love it a lot and are never going to switch. They're always hunting for that next big hoppy
Oh, yeah.
like slap, you know.
Mhm.
So introduce me to this one.
So the Pirates Paradise, I really like the name. I don't know. I was thinking of Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was thinking of Jack Sparrow drinking on the beach, his rum. But I kind of wanted to go for something more tropical, and I really like the name. So this is a really Citra-dominated IPA that I've done. And like I said, I specialized for this one specifically, more of a dry hop versus an actual boiled hop. But we'll see how it tastes.
You did a big Citra addition to this one.
Not huge. I don't really even know how to tell you the comparisons, the ratios to that, but I did majority of the hops, so we're in the dry hop for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, let's give her a shot.
I know Citra hops are beloved
Mm-hmm.
and very, very popular. We use a lot of Citra in our beers. What other kind of hops are you interested in for your products?
Oh God, there's so many, and then honestly, what I'm trying to do actually is go with something a little more local. So I'm gonna try and do wet hops eventually, but yeah, let's give it a shot.
Cheers. It's got a nice rocky head. It's frothy. It's got a really nice dark golden kind of color to it.
Yeah.
Fairly laid back as an IPA goes.
Oh, extremely. A lot of people are at request to put more hops in, but like I said, we're positioning ourselves in that step of where we're getting people used to that IPA flavor. If they want to get more of that IPA flavor, Rebellion, you guys do a great job at providing that more sophisticated kind of profile of hops. And honestly, I like this one just as a refreshing, once again, patio beer where you can have multiple. But yeah.
You know, I'd say to my taste, my preference for IPAs, I would go for something that's a little bit drier, and I would say this is maybe a little too sweet for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not used to that big aggressive IPA punch, then you might gravitate towards this. There's definitely that Citra. I think, you know what? I would encourage you to even just hammer that aroma even more.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I really like. I want that aroma punch in my mouth and my nose.
Well, I'll definitely work on that. Pirates Paradise 2.0.
But it's nice. It's not bad. I think I just want more hops.
More hops, yeah, and that's what I get from quite a few of the craft brewer or craft fans out there. Whenever they come by, they like more hops, especially guys from Maker's Malt. When they came down first and tried out my first IPA, they're like, you need more hops. I'm like, okay, but for this is my first IPA that I've really done, and I really wanted to tone it back. I'm definitely going to expand more into it and maybe add a couple different besides Citra, and really expand that punch in your mouth, like you said.
I think you could definitely afford to be like way more aggressive with your IPA.
Yeah.
Like the audience that wants it, yeah, like you just hit them with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to go to JGL for the wet hop beer?
They have reached out to us, and we're actually working with them quite closely to transition to them for most of our hops. For the start, though, we kind of just needed to get everything on board, so we got most of ours from just Prairie Brew Supply, so most of it's in BC. So, yeah.
Nice. Actually, today, Mark is driving back from JGL
Okay.
with fresh, wet hops.
Nice.
I'm going to be filming them tossing it onto the mash tun and finishing up our JGL video for this year.
Oh, that'll be real nice. Yeah, absolutely. Which beer are you doing?
We're going to be doing 3.
Mhm.
The first one I think is going to be Cashmere or Comet, possibly Cascade.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they were changing their minds and thinking about adding a third wet hopped beer.
Mhm.
Last year we only did I think 2, and this year I think we might do 3 with JGL.
That's it's really exciting for you guys.
It's exciting that you're already talking about it too. It's like, yeah, JGL, we're gonna do wet hop beer.
Yeah. But yeah, saying that though, I wouldn't even say this is my hoppiest beer. I do have a Summer Days Session IPA, so one of those not super alcohol focused beers. It's 3.4%. It's definitely hoppier than this one. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should have brought all of my beer. We could have tried them all, but in this little short segment, these two are the ones that I decided to go with. But yeah.
Well, I'm excited to come on out and hit the Freebird, get some fries and a burger, and then come to you guys and sit down for some patio pints.
Oh yeah, you're always welcome. That's for sure.
Well, thank you for your time today, man.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Rebellion, for having me out here.
Cheers. Rebels, thanks for listening today. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, be sure to join us on our brand new Facebook group page, the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. I'm also proud to let you know that we're members of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. It's a one-stop shop for tons of locally produced shows from across our province. You can find them at saskpodcastnetwork.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped so you don't miss out on the latest news in Sask craft beer. Be sure to check out the show notes where I'm going to include links to all things Iron Bridge Brewery. Be sure to check them out and give them a warm welcome to the Saskatchewan craft beer scene. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.